notification.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I would like to introduce you Srujana Shaga. She is from 2013-17 batch from CSE department. One of the major thing is till now we have seen the alumni students who have graduated and got their opportunities and has become some CEO into their own companies. Now I am going to introduce a new alumni who is totally different from our regular academics. Okay, she is a mountaineer. She has climbed a great one called as Kilimanjaro and one more mountain in Australia. Okay, this is not done with a 1 or 2 days or 1 month, 2 months of training. It was done with years of training, and she will share her whole experiences, journey in the college, how we pressured her, and how she has trained herself. Oh, everything she'll be sharing with you. Okay, it's over to you, Srujana.
Thank you, sir, and good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. In this session, I'll tell you how college has played an important role in my life. At the same time, how I did my mountaineering journey, and then maybe in the end we can have some questionnaire session as well. So I'm always like I was always being like go with the flow kind of a person. Uh, you know, get the go getter kind of a girl, and I never particularly had any goal. I after graduation I need to do this in life, I need to do that. But then I was just going with the flow, live the moment kind of a person, like one day at a time. And then period to that, fast forward to my engineering days. Before that, I'm an ardent follower of Swami Vivekanand. So I used to go there like when I was a child, like attending the summer camp sessions there, or be it like volunteering services post my inter time and all. So that's where I got my kind of a motivation. Like the classes happening there, like be it a motivational classes there, like personality development. No, I used to go volunteer and all. So there was one such event which happened, wherein there was the speaker, uh, called as Arunima Sinha, was a part of this event. So when I got to see the flyer there, it says she was a national level volleyball player. At the same time, she's the first differently abled woman to climb Mount Everest. This really got intrigued me. I'm like, oh my god, I need to just attend this event. And then that event happened to be on a Saturday, and I was in my first year. I did bunk the college and attend the class when I was in first year. So I did bunk Saturday class, and then I went to attend the class. So the event was, she was a national level volleyball player. Uh, and then she was traveling from her native place to Delhi on a job interview. She got a call later, so she had to attend the job interview, and then she was going in a general compartment. So, and then they were like, the thing with a sports person, you have that confidence in you built in. So there were some looters there trying to loot people of their gold or whatever values they've got. And then she being a volleyball player, or like, a sports person will always have that confidence, to fight back what's wrong and all. They've got that. They'll never step back. So that's how, she tried opposing them. What did they do? If one people get against you, many others will also support you. So they feared a lot, and then they took her and threw her out of the running train, mind you all. So the opposite track, there was another train. So she got amputated. It was an accident, a very bad accident. She got amputated, and then the whole night she was there on the tracks without no help, nothing. And then she got into the depression, like, I cannot play for the country no more. And then what do I do? And then somehow she got over it, and then she aimed higher. She was like, let me trek Mount Everest. And then, somehow, she got connected to Bachendri Pal. So she was like, I'll get trained under Bachendri Pal no matter what. And then she was back with Bachendri Pal was like, like, it's very impossible for one person, for a fully able person to trek Everest, and then you being differently able. She doesn't have one leg completely, and then the other one, there's a rod infused in her leg. So it's very highly impossible. And then Everest is like life or death. I can't just do that with you. But then she was very determined, like, I need to do. And then that's how she gained Bachendri Pal's confidence. And then that's how she started off her journey, Everest journey. And then she became the world's first differently abled person to trek Mount Everest. And then that whole session inspired me so much, like so much to so like, sometimes, when you listen to such motivation talks, manam kuda cheseddam pickesam on a level, I wasn't that high. I was literally in that high. And then I came back home. I told my dad, this is what I want to do. This is it. I want to do mountaineering. And then even my dad was there at that event. So he was like, even I felt like climbing a mountain, listening to her speech. It's like, you're just in that hangover of that speech. Light the score, gradually it'll reduce. But then somehow it was inside my head. And then after coming back to college, I was like, I came and told Sunita ma'am, I told Gladys ma'am, I told Meenakshi ma'am, I went to this event, I attended, it was very inspiring, I want to be like her, and then they really supported me, like, throughout. They were like, okay, you want to do it, follow your dreams. All of the faculty members told me that. Yeah. First year was very supportive. No, and then that was back of my head, and then I was continuing with my education as well. Like, I know I used to participate in a lot of activities. I used to participate in lot of was there. Like, I was a mid kind of a girl, like person, and like, I needed that little push. So I got all the push in the first, permissions from Nagaraju sir also. Like, and then that's how first year happened. And then immediately I couldn't join any adventure company straight away. It took me a year to find a right path. Which company should I go for? With which adventure institute I need to tie up with? And then again in 2014, I found a channel, and then I kept frequenting to my mountaineering classes. And then again, so second year also, I used to bunk college just to go for trainings. and then and then it started really affecting me. I used to always end up in HOD sir's cabin. I remember, even, he's just really like, what is this happening? Even faculty which would not come and teach me also, I became very much all of the faculty. I'm like, oh,
You're
actually,
popular.
I was so sad, so and then I really very much remember, one day I actually was, sir scolded me so badly, I ended up crying also. I remember this, like, I'll never forget this. HOD sir, like, and then again I thought to myself, okay, so let me just concentrate on my education. If this is what it's meant to be, it'll come to me no matter what. With that thing on my mind, I carried on. It's not that I'm really very good in education also, but then, I was okay, I could manage. And then by then I was like totally, I fixed, I mean, like, I was like very strong on my mind that I know I need to do mountaineering no matter what. And then second year also, I used to participate in all that activities, annual day functions, is that, M1 sir would always tell us, నువ్వు క్లాస్ లో ఉండవా అమ్మ, అసలు ఎప్పుడు చూసినా బయటనే కనిపిస్తావు, M1 sir with Nagesh sir would always tell that. And then finally, like, somehow, and then I was like, okay, let me just stop my other activities also. Let me just concentrate on education. Like, let me clear my other backgrounds. I had 3 backlogs in my first year. Eventually I cleared them all. I cleared all of my backlogs by 4-2. And then while I got into 3-1, 3-2, CRT classes were going on. And then, like I said, like, I didn't wanted to get into this MNCs or IT sectors right away. So I didn't register myself in CRT classes also, nor I registered myself in the placements. Uh, and then I was like, and then I didn't attend. Like, half of the session would be of like the regular classes, and then half would be the CRT classes. Like, for almost like 2-3 days, I didn't attend CRT classes. And then, like, somewhat it intrigued me. Like, what is the class all about? I need to go attend it once, and I just felt it for myself. And then one Friday, I went and sat in the class, and then I started liking it. And ever since, I attended every CRT classes. I even got registered for placement, and that's how it went on. I studied, I struggled really very much, and struggling. And then all the faculties, even Raji Reddy sir would support me, like, everybody, like, secretary ma'am would be there. She would recognize whenever I used to go on stage and or anchor for any event or all such stuff. And then eventually I got placed by 4-2. I even got placed. And then And then I told my parents, like, no, before joining in this company, in so and so company, I just want to climb one peak. No, because once you get into IT sector or MNCs, you can't have your me time. You can't come out of it. Like, you'll just get into it totally that you just can't come out of. So I thought, like, before going into this, let me just do one peak. And then inflow, my dad, especially my dad, was like, no, I'm like daddy's little girl, the pampered child. I'm the elder one. I have a younger brother, but then I'm the most pampered kid at home. So my dad was like, no, I'm not letting you go mountaineering. The difficulties facing there, I will not at all let you go. And then it took me a year for me to convince my dad. I kept on telling him, I want to do mountaineering, I want to do mountaineering, but then I didn't show him. And then I thought to myself, okay, let me just show him how interested, how passionate I am about this. And then that's when I started, started my fitness levels. I used to wake up early in the morning, go for morning walks, and then in the evening I used to work out in the gym like for 2 hours straight away. And then he could see the results, like, my transformations were seen. And then one fine day he was like, okay, we'll give you a chance. He threw the ball in my court, and then he gave me a chance. Now, okay, I'm sending you, you prove yourself. Otherwise, you will know that that is not your forte, and then you'll change, or you'll have something else to do about. So that I was like, I grabbed this opportunity, and that's when I started off. That's when I started off my. Sorry, there's some. Yeah. That's when I started off my first trek. And then it really took me 6 months of training, like intensive training in the gym. I used to do functional training, CrossFit, weightlifting, weights training, and all. And then came the time for me to depart. I mean, to go off to Africa. I chose to climb Africa's highest peak uh, first, which is called as Kilimanjaro. So I started off, and I was really very excited because that was my first ever international flight. And then I was excited that I'm going to prove everybody wrong, because that whole year was so very difficult for me. I stopped meeting people. I was just being myself. I would not go to any family functions. I would not just and like, it's the time, it's high time that I need to prove myself. Is what there in my mind. And then I went, and then that's how I did my first ever trek, which is called Mount Kilimanjaro. So I'll share you a little bit of how the trek goes. So there are 6 routes to climb the Mount Kilimanjaro. So the one which we opted is like 50-50 chances, like you may summit the peak or you may not, because of the acclimatization and the weather conditions there. But the only main reason which why we opted that, because there are permanent tents there. You don't have to pitch your tent. There are already permanent tents laid for you already. So that's how we chose that. And then we started off. The first terrain comes. There are 3-4 terrains. The first one is the rainforest, second is alpine desert, and then moorlands, and then comes this snowy area. So I was really very excited for the first trek. It took us around 2 days. Really, really camp we reached. So after sign, do my signature, register myself. So it was that cold. And then we called it a day, and then we started off to another camp. That is again the height of the first camp height was 3,000 meters, 3,000 change meters. The second camp height was 4,000 meters. So we actually took a detour. There was a crater there. We thought, like, we'll just do a detour and then go ahead. So it took us 8 hours to reach camp 2. So we started around 8 o'clock, 8:30 in the morning. And then we started off. It was almost like 5 o'clock for in the evening for me to reach that camp. So there are 3 other mountains in between, so you need to ascend and descend to reach camp 2. And then while going there, it started raining. So it's the first camp is a rainforest camp. So but then surprisingly it didn't rain. So we thought, like, it wouldn't rain further camps as well. So we packed everything inside, but then it started raining. So we were so drenched. We even had our foot. I even had my foot in the drenched rain, like, the wet. It was drenched. And that's how we did it. Somehow I reached the camp, and then we called it a day. And then the next day was the acclimatization trek.
as in we need to get acclimatized to the weather. Your body needs to get adjusted to the weather. So we went to a certain height. We were like at 4,000 meters. We went to 4,100 meters, 4,300 meters above, and then we got back. We took a 3-hour acclimatization trek, and then we got back. The second day is to high altitude camp. So this is also a very exhausting trek. uh, like we started off again at 3 o'clock, I mean like morning 8 o'clock, and then it again took me around 6 o'clock in the evening to reach the camp. And then again it started raining, it started hailstorms, it was thundering, it was very very cold there, but then somewhat it kept me going. I need to do this, I need to, at a point of a time, you have you there was a guide along with me, but then due to communication gap, communication problems, they don't speak English and then we don't speak their language. It was really difficult for me for that moral support. And the thing in mountains is that you need to walk at your own pace. You don't have to match up with your team. There was a little boy with us. He was a 5-year-old kid who did a world record of being the youngest one to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. So he was like, he's a hyperactive kid, is very active, so he was way ahead of me. So I shouldn't match to go along with him. So it was like I was walking in my own pace. And then I was like motivating myself. I was There's a song called Nothing Else Matters by Metallica that says, the first line itself says, so close no matter how far. So I was repeating that in my head, so close no matter how far. And then in just a fraction of moments, I could see the clouds were cleared and I could see Mount Kilimanjaro right there in front of me. I'm like, I know, all the exhaustion just went away. And then I was like, oh my god, I'm nearing to my goal. And then just when I took out my phone to click a picture of it, the clouds covered it off completely. And then it was just a sight to behold for me. And then I reached the camp. It was so very cold, it was in -degrees. I was not even able to do anything or drink, or like, it was so exhausting. And then we called it off a day, but then I was not able to sleep at all because of the low temperatures. I was just lying down shivering, like literally I was shivering. I was shivering in my sleeping bag. The sleeping bag which we used could hold up to minus 10 degrees temperature. The one which the temperature there was even more lower than that. I was shivering inside that. I couldn't sleep. I was very tired. My legs were hurting. And just when I was about to, sleep, my guide, my team leader woke me up and then like, no, this now we have to go for summit. And then I got ready for my summit. I was in a position where I was not even able to put on my shoes, my trekking shoes back, because it was so cold then. My hands were frozen, but somehow I could do it. And then it was I really very much remember it was a full moon night. I didn't use my head torch as well. It was so beautiful. And then I started going, and then it was like we started around 12 o'clock in the night. So the thing in the mountains is that you need to start off, the summit would start in the night, because the mountain will be very calm in the night. And then by the time you reach the summit, it will be around like early hours. And then you'll come back down easily. And then in the post 10 o'clock, the mountain will become very aggressive, like huge winds, low temperature, low oxygen. So it's not safe to be there. So that's why we start off the summit push in the nights. So I started my summit trek at 12 o'clock, in early morning of 12 o'clock. And then I started, and then I kept walking. I was so very sleepy because I couldn't sleep the previous night. I was very sleepy. And then I was with my hiking pole, I was like literally falling off. And then I kept on telling my guide, like, I just want to sit for a bit and just take a nap. He was like, it's very dangerous, because you sit down, because in the high altitude, your oxygen or your blood levels, your blood gets frozen. There wouldn't be any proper oxygen flow in the body because of the low altitude. You need to keep moving yourself. He didn't at all allow me to just sit there. I kept continuous trek. It was continuous trek. It started raining, it started snowing there. And but somehow, that kept me going. I need to do it. I need, no matter what, I need to do it. It was in my mind. So, and that's when at around afternoon, or maybe 11:30, 12, I hoisted our tricolor up there on Africa's highest peak, or Africa's highest point. the whole of Africa's highest point. And then again, we can't stay a long time on the summit. We need to like do click pictures or spend the time there for like about 5 minutes or something, and then come back. So it took me almost like 12 hours to reach the summit, and then again 4 hours to just reach the base of the mountain. So in mountaineering, how difficult it is to ascend a mountain, it is even more harder to descend the peak. So it took me just 4 hours to reach the base of the mountain, like the base of the mountain, and another 2 hours to reach my camp. And then after getting back to the camp, we shouldn't stay there overnight, because the other climbers will come and occupy those places. That's there are only just two huts there, two camps there. So again, we need to get back from camp, a high altitude camp, to again camp 2. It was like the most difficult trek I've ever done. And but I think that was really worth it, because I achieved it, and then I was really happy that I could do it. And that's how that kept me going, and that's how I did my first trek. I was really very happy about it, and then everybody very happy. I got messages from Naresh sir. He messaged me on Facebook like, congratulations on your, everybody. I was like, it was worth it. And then I was like, and then I thought maybe now it's time for me to join back any job or like IT sector. And that's when, like I said, a volunteer at our Ramakrishna Mutt. So I got an opportunity, like I go there for volunteering and all. So they asked me in one of the session, hey, why don't you just share your experience there? So I told to a couple of girls there. Then they were like, uh, so there was this little girl who just did her 10th, and then she wanted to her 12th, and she wanted to get into architecture, but then their parents are opposing that. And then she was like, your story resonates so much with me that, no matter what, the first thing, like you said, I should have confidence, believe in yourself, and then you need to prove, like give that confidence to your parents, like just how you gave that confidence to your parents for that whole year. You tried convincing them that you wanted to do this. Even I'll convince my parents. Even I'll get into architecture, is what she told me in that review session. That really moved me so much. And then that's how I thought, like, I always wanted to give back to society, like in some way or the other. I never knew how would I want to do it, but then I was like, okay, this is it. Now somebody is benefiting out of my life, and then they're improving theirs. What more you want in life? That's why I was like, this is it, this is what I want to do in my life, this is my calling, is what I thought. And then 3 months later, we were off to another trek, which was Russia's highest peak, Mount Elbrus. So this is another challenging. There are no such terrains here. It's just the mountain area. So we were like 3 days we took for acclimatization, and the last day, the fourth day, we've gone for the summit push, and again in the night at 12 a.m. So this was completely different. I was totally in my what you say, like how people trek in Everest. Like I was completely in that attire, like totally, like my boots, my crampons, my goggles. I was totally in that. In fact, I shared one picture with sir where you can't see my face at all. You remember, sir? I sent you a picture. So it was like that. So you need to it was really very cold there. So you need to jack up in all those jackets and all. And then we started off a push, and then I wore too many layers in that. It was very cold. I wore too many layers, and then the last layer, which is the down jacket, adi pattatlu, just because I wore too many layers. But the last jacket is very important. Even though how many layers you wear inside, the last jacket you don't put on, it's gone to vain. So I somehow tried putting it, and then we started off. I was feeling very suffocated, and then I felt like my heart would come out of my chest, and that's how I felt. But then somehow, I kept going, and then I was literally walking on the edge of the mountain, like on the edge, like the other side is the valley, and then you don't have a proper grip, you'll fall back. It was that way. And then constantly I was telling my guide, let's just get interconnected, connect me to your rope, and then let's just go together. But then he didn't connect, because if I fall, he'll also come back with me. He'll also, you know die eventually. So he was like, I'm not going to do that. And then a few hours into my trek, I was not feeling my hands. Initial stages of frostbite was happening to me. I So there are some measures which we do, like when there's no oxygen level or blood flow in a particular body, in a particular place. That's when your frostbites happen. So there are some methods. You either circulate your hand or hit your hand to the pole. Or I kept doing that. I was hitting my hand to the pole, I was hitting my hand to the rock, just because the blood circulation would happen. And I was, nothing was working at all. And then I was complaining him, like, I can't do it, I can't do it, I just can't feel my hands. So he eventually checked my hands, and there's like for initial stage of frostbite. I think I need to terminate your expedition, is what he told. I was like, this can't happen. I'm like, I came so long not to go back. And at the same time, when he told me all that, I started self-doubting as well. Like 50% of me was like, I need to go, I need to go. And then another 50% of me was like, I need to get back, because I was scared to death. And then at that very moment, uh, there's a tricolor in my backpack. Anesi na gurtochindi. And then at the same time, I could see people. Uh, I could see people trekking there, that hoisting the tricolor there on the summit. And like, this is it. I need to do it. And then I went on. I hosted a tricolor up there again on Europe's highest peak, which is in Russia. And then again 3 months later, we've gone for another trek. And in between, yes, I did a couple of talks here and there, you know just so that people can resonate with what I say, and then uh, they can follow their dreams as well. It's if you're passionate enough to do what you want to do, I think everything will fall into place. Everything will eventually happen, is what I feel. And then 3 months later, I did all these treks within 3 months of gap in 1 year. And then 3 months later, we were off to Australia to trek Australia's highest peak. And then this time, it's a day peak. You don't need to stay at the camps for like hours together. So that's when one of our team member got this idea of draping saris and trekking,
Can you
and then
see these
eventually
photos?
do a tribute to
Can you,
Telangana handloom weavers, or in generally handloom weavers. So
Srujana,
that's when we draped our saris. And usually to climb Mount Kosciuszko, which is Australia's highest peak, it takes around like 4 hours maximum. And then we took a extra 2 hours because we were in sari, so that we thought we'll do it off in 6 hours, like the whole trek. As we were in saris, it was so very difficult. And generally girls wear saris, just for occasions, and that's it, like the parties, functions, or click pictures or something like that. But then I checked that wearing a sari, it was so very difficult. We went in summertime, it was so hot. And then, as you all
is
know,
it visible?
Australia
Is it
gets the
visible?
first rays right after New Zealand. The first sun rays falls on Australia, and then there is no proper UV rays there. It was very difficult to do that, but then somehow we kept going. We did that, and then we hoisted a tricolor there with the saris. uh, and that's how I did the three of the peaks. And then, no, somebody asked me, like, yes sir, you want
Is
to
it
talk?
is it audio? Is it audible?
Sir, I can't hear you. Oh my god. Yes sir.
Is it audible now?
Yeah, it is.
One sec.
Yeah.
Please say which photo is this?
This is Australia, sir. Australia's peak in a sari.
Okay, you are telling about this only, right?
Yeah, I was talking about this.
And
This was in Africa. You can't even see my face there.
yeah,
In Africa.
which country?
Africa, sir. Kilimanjaro.
Africa.
This is.
Okay, right.
Yes.
This is also same.
This is Russia.
This is
Europe's highest. Europe's highest peak, Mount Elbrus.
Okay.
Yes.
So these are some of the photos that I have found.
Yes, sir.
Please continue.
Yeah, yes. So somebody asked me which is your favorite mountain of all the three that you've climbed. I don't have an answer, because every mountain taught me a lesson. So there's one of my favorite quote from Edmund Hillary. He says, "It's not the mountains that we conquer, but ourselves." So the first trek I did, it taught me my physical abilities. Though I used to go to the gym for like an hour or so, but then I never knew that I could trek for 8 hours at a stretch, like at a stretch. You all don't won't believe, at a stretch. And that's what I got to know, my physical abilities there, and then my emotional strength as well. Sometimes when you feel low, or you won't have a good day, so you either seek your friends help, or you just share like, I'm not feeling well, can we just have a conversation or chat. But then there on the mountains, it was just me and my guide. I possibly can't talk to my guide. It was just me. I was motivating myself, I can do this, I can do that. Like the the another quote which I used to repeat is, um, I would think, I would repeat this in my head, like, strength is life, weakness is dead. No, I mean, like, stop not till the goal is reached. Like, stop not till the goal is reached. I used to all the time repeat that, and that's how I did that. That's how I learned. That's the lesson what I learned during my, I mean, like, what the first trek taught me. And then the second trek taught me my emotional abilities, because my guide really scared me to the death. He was like, because frostbites are dangerous. Like, it actually spreads faster when you don't take proper measures. If you either have to cut off that particular body part if that part is is under frostbite, or that's how it is. But then I got to know about my emotional strength there. And then the last trek which I did, uh, we actually underestimated, or maybe underestimated the peak very much, because comparatively it was the lowest we did. The first one I did was like almost 6,000 meters, 5,800 meters that was. And then the second peak also, it was almost like the both of the peaks were like above 5,500 meters, wherein low oxygen levels would be there. But then comparatively, Australia's was just 2,000 meters. We were like, we can just go off in a jiffy and all is what thought. But then it taught us the greatest lessons of my life. Like, like how we say, don't judge a book by its cover, don't judge a mountains by its height, is what I learned personally. And then mountains are mountains in the end, and then you need to conquer somehow. And then that's the greatest lesson nature teaches you, is that you think you are superior than the nature, but then once you go there, it'll actually teach you another lesson. That's the lesson what I learned in of all the three. And and then they say life comes in a full circle. The greatest or the happiest moment I felt when I got back to college as a guest for one of the events there, like, and then and being a TEDx speaker in the college, it was the most beautiful moment I've ever experienced. Because I've always had this bittersweet memories for college. Everybody, like, I would be like, oh, everybody used to call me like, oh, study, 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 do this, do that. Your attendance is low. What is this? What is that? Oh, complete your record, complete your. But then, but then I was very happy when I came back to college, and then I was really very happy when I went back to my school as a guest also. And then that's how I thought, this is it. This is what I want to do for the people. And I always wanted to give back to people, maybe like through my story where everybody can resonate. Is what I thought. Let's just do this. And yeah, this actually, I took a break, 2019 break this Kunansa, because 2018 was like the whole year I did treks, like, within 3 months of gap. I didn't get that recovery period. Just after completing one trek, again I used to go for trainings and then prepare for my other trek. So 2019 I really took a break off trekking, but then I did other talk activities and all. I wanted to do Everest. I thought of doing Everest in 2020, but then all
Okay.
thanks to the pandemic, yeah.
So, how many mountains you have climbed till now?
I did three, sir. Three of the world's highest peak.
Hmm.
Four more to go. Seven summits on Taru. So 7 continents, seven highest peaks. So I did three as of now.
Okay, you are planning for remaining four also.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so, what would be next Mount Everest?
Mount Everest 2020 anukunanu, but then I don't know when that's going to happen. So Mount Everest is there. North America, South America, and Antarctica. So these four
Okay.
are.
So compulsory, and then you are fixed. You have to do this poll.
Yes, sir. No matter what, I'm gonna do it. Yes.
Hmm. So, is there any other people like not only you? There will be many people who will be climbing like this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Along with me, yes. చాలా మంది వస్తూ ఉంటారు like to climb the peak, but then we go along with our group, so we stick together.
Okay, but when you said that, sir, after going to the summit place, highest peak place, we were there only for 5 minutes
Yes.
because you have struggled 12 hours to reach to that peak.
Yes, yes.
But why you were only for 5 minutes? Is there any specific reason?
Yeah, because our temperature won't be that good, and then you need to come back. Once you go up, once you go there and then relax there, yeah, your body totally gets relaxed. You need to keep that warmth in yourself. After that, to get back down as well, because the low temperatures would be there again. అక్కడికి వెళ్ళి రెస్ట్ తీసుకుంటే మళ్ళీ బాడీ ఇంకా won't help you to get down.
Hmm.
We don't have, we can't be there for much time.
1 minute. 1 minute.
Yes, sir. Anybody can actually ask me. There are a question, I believe. There's a question.
If you have any questions in chat box, you can see. Sometimes it comes to me, sometimes it comes to you.
Yes, sir. Mount Everest. Yes, Mount Everest is on my list. I don't know when, but then I'm definitely gonna do it. Yeah.
So, who are the persons who stopped you when you said, "I want to become a mountaineer"?
Nobody stopped me, sir. Until they were like,
స్టాప్డ్ అని అంటే వద్దు కరాకండి అలానే కాదు, కాకపోయినా సరే అసలు అవసరమా నీకు ఇప్పుడు ఈ సిచ్యువేషన్ లో ఒక అంటే సి ఐఎమ్ టాకింగ్ ఇన్ జనరల్ వే. జనరల్ గా ఏంటి అంటే లేడీస్ అనేలోకి కానీ జెంట్స్ ఎవరైనా సరే ముందు జాబ్ తెచ్చుకో అది తెచ్చుకో అంటారు, కానీ యు ఆల్సో స్ట్రగుల్ అపార్ట్ ఫ్రమ్ యువర్ పేరెంట్స్. డిడ్ ఎనీ వన్ అపార్ట్ ఫ్రమ్ యువర్ ఫ్యామిలీ?
అందరూ అన్నారు సార్, అందరూ అన్నారు. సో ఎంత like I used to work out in a gym where my physical trainer would actually knows my physical abilities there. He trained me. He was also like, చేస్తావా అంత చేస్తే చెయ్యి లేకపోతే చెయ్యకు. That was it. Like there were many people who actually told me that, why do you want to do, you can't do it, and all such stuff. But then I was so strong in my mind that, yeah, there's like you said, a woman can't do or whatever. I mean, like this adventure sport, there's one thing I want to say: the mountain doesn't know the gender of its climber. You are just a mountain, I mean, you are just a climber to that mountain. So I just did it. There were people who opposed me, but then yes, family also there was there. But then once I got that confidence from my parents, they never said no. First thing, they never said no because I was a girl. They said no because I was a pampered child. They didn't wanted me to struggle so much there. That was the only reason why they opposed me, because I've got everything equally. Like they treated me and my brother equally. There was nothing like that. Oh, no chayalevu, no this, that. The only thing they opposed me, my parents, but then outside people was like, El Tava, Enduku, Ammaivi, and all stuff. That's what I keep telling them again and again. The mountain doesn't know the gender. It just knows that you're a climber. That's it.
So one more question: how are you keeping with your fitness in this lockdown?
Initially nothing. I hogged onto everything, like chala ante. That's what I did, sir. But then again I was like, no, atla kaadu, I should get back and so I started working out at my home. I do hit training, so I do hit like every day hit chest, like for
How many
half an
hours
hour.
you work out now at present?
Intro I'm just doing for an hour, sir.
Is that
uh,
how much?
one hour 1 hour.
1 hour. Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise in the gym I would go for 2 hours, 2.5 hours. How am I? That's what the question was.
Next,
Then I'm eating. At the same time, I'm eating. I always follow this. You eat whatever you want, and at the same time, burn that calories. I can't resist food. I literally can't resist food. And tintam at the same time, I try burning that off.
Okay. And there is a saying, yesterday we have discussed with yoga fitness also,
Yes, sir.
a webinar also. That person said, if you drink one glass of cool drink,
Mm-hmm.
which consists of gas, sugar,
Yes.
everything,
Yes.
color, flavors, which come, if you drink one glass of cool drink, to clear that one from your body, you have to drink 85 glasses of water.
Oh.
85 glasses of water. So if we observe how many cool drinks we drink
Yes, sir.
in a
Yes.
month, so how
Mm.
much water you have to drink in a year?
Yes. Yes.
So in the same way, you have to keep your diet, because
Yes.
climbing a mountain for
It's
seeing it
not.
will be simple only.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, in movies or water it may be, but if you climb, see, sometimes when you come from college bus and
Mm.
your floor is in the second floor class,
Mm-hmm.
do
Yes.
you
Yes.
remember second floor?
Yes. I remember. Sir. Yes. I
Yeah,
remember.
climbing that 2 floors of steps is difficult to some people,
Mm. Yes.
but so two means it is not equal to 100 feet also.
Mm-hmm.
But climbing to that many meters, not feet, that many meters, 5,800 and 6,000 means around, it is equal to 6 kilometers height.
Yes. Yes.
You are
Then.
not going straight. You have
Yes.
to go height, and you will be having a gravitational force.
Yes. Sir.
So so how much complete training you took for mountaineering actually
I
before
was
going to first climb?
I was into fitness all through my childhood. So I was in NCC while I was in school time.
Okay.
So uh, that really helped me. I used to constantly go to fitness. Like even though I used to come to college and all. Morning times though I used to go to gym and then I used to come to college. So somewhere or the other I was bit fit to do this. And then another thing in the mountains, it's more of your mental health than your physical health, because there are few athletes also, like I'm an athlete, I'm pro in this, and fitness levels 100% undi, I can do it అని చాలా మంది వెళ్తారు ఓవర్ కాన్ఫిడెన్స్. But then there are some incidents which happen that వాళ్ళు అలా అనుకుంటారు, but then they fail to summit. In the mountaineering, it's more of your mental health as well. How strong you are, that would also eventually add up to your physical uh, thing also. So we have to be both ways.
You got one more question.
Yes, sir.
I don't know whether you have thought of this question or not, but
Okay.
one student thought of it. So please ask the sister about, after completing those remaining 4 mountains, what is your next step? After that, all continents has completed. What is your next
Yes.
step?
So 8,000 peaks untai, like above 8,000 peak. So there are 14 8,000 peaks all over the world. So I want to do that, and then North Pole, South Pole kuda anukuntunnanu. So yeah.
Job, marriage, nothing then.
In this
Job, you want to do any job or not?
no, I don't think I would want to work. This is what I want to do: climb, and then at the same time uh, inspire people to follow their passion through my journey,
Hmm.
is what I thought. Yeah, job though, no, I don't want to work.
You don't want to work.
Right.
Okay, right. So, what do you say about confidence?
Confidence, if you're passionate about it, if you're passionate about your dream, like నేను చేయగలుగుతాను అని నీకు అనిపిస్తే, you automatically get that confidence, is what I feel, sir.
Hmm.
I was very confident because that's what I wanted to prove people wrong. ఎవరైతే నువ్వు చేయలేదు అని అన్నారో నాతో, I
Hmm.
wanted to prove them wrong. That was there in my head strong. So with that, I got that confidence. I have to do it, and I see.
Actually, in our college also, maybe your juniors, sub juniors, sub juniors, whatever it
Yes,
may be, present first years or second years, everybody will have some hidden talent or some interest in their mind.
yes, yes,
What they want to. Some people would like to go for singing. Some people
yes,
would be planning for modeling, even girls or boys. Some people becomes famous TikTokers. Okay, some people do some other things, weightlifting or whatever it may be. So they will be unable to do because due to some reasons. One may be
Yes.
financial reasons should be a helpful.
Oh,
First thing. First thing is financial. Okay. Second one is support from parents.
yes.
Yeah, and third one is discourage from other people.
Uh, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
if these three are successful, available for a person, okay, encourage from others also if it is available, a
Yes.
person
Yes.
can do anything
Yes.
whatever
Yes.
he wants.
Yes.
So in your case, all these three were helpful, all these three were done.
Uh, yeah. Financially, yes, my dad. Firstly, initially, he did help me out for my trek, for my first trek. My second trek, I did try for sponsors because this is very costly sports, and then I can't keep pestering my dad.
Hmm.
And somehow, I got sponsors for my third expedition. So
Okay.
that's how I did. But then it was not that easy also for my dad. It was like we were also not going that good financially, but somehow it's like, okay, she asked us, I shouldn't, tell no to her because maybe, they also didn't wanted that regret, tanu adigindi, we didn't send her అనేసి future lo they didn't wanted that regret, or maybe even they didn't wanted that regret for me also. So ala na case to that was a plus point. And then the second thing, who like what did you say, sir? Like the other parents.
Parents support.
Yeah, parents support. Maybe if you just give them that confidence, I can do it. And I see, no, I think nobody will stop you because that's what they wanted to see, like how passionate you are, how your goal is, like how goal oriented you are. Adokati చూపిస్తే నాకు తెలిసి nobody will oppose you. And the third thing,
Encourage
you have
from others.
discouragement. Yes, you
Yeah.
have to just give. Yeah, you have to just give a deaf ear to them. వాళ్ళు అంటారు, మనం వినేసి ఊరుకోవాలి. That's it. Yes, that's it. That's
Hmm.
what I did in my case.
Hey, one different question came.
Yes, sir.
I don't know whether you will answer or not. Ma'am, do you get any pay after completing your trek?
Oh no, actually మన పాకెట్ లకైనా పెట్టుకొని వెళ్ళాలి. No, we don't get paid. That's just out of passion. I mean, like, this is just a passionate game, unlike other sporting events. In fact, this doesn't come under sports as well. It's adventure కింద వస్తుంది. So
Hmm.
we don't get paid. It's just for the peace of mind satisfaction. You know, they are like, many people asked me like, what do you get out of it? I get a sound sleep. I sleep happily. I sleep peacefully.
Actually, my next question was that only. What do you get out of it? Hmm.
I'm happy, sir. Like, at a point of a time when I started liking this, when people are like resonating with the story, because it's very common. I'm a like normal middle class. Am I like, everybody's story is that, you wanted a dream. Somebody, your parents or anybody will say కాదు, and then people will leave it away. అక్కడికి వదిలేసి వేరేది చూసుకుంటారు. బట్ దెన్ సమ్హౌ నేను అలా చేయలేదు. I was very strong, very stubborn. చేస్తానని కూర్చున్నాను. So that's how I did it. And then that really resonates with people. Like, they get connected because the story is real, and then that's how they get connected. And naku, I felt good, నాకు కూడా నేను చూసి నీలాగా చేయాలని ఉంది. Not only in mountaineering. They took that inspiration and applied it in their own fields. Uh, be it anything, their own fields, whatever they wanted to do.
Hmm.
I'm very happy with. I'm very satisfied. One, they wanted, they're getting something out of me is so I'm just I'm in my early 20s. Like, somebody comes and tells you, like, you're my inspiration. What more would one would want, sir? Like, 25-year-old girl, what would she want in life? Somebody coming and telling you you're my inspiration. And then ఒకసారి somebody asked me for my autograph ఒక 10th class అమ్మాయి. I was totally taken aback.
Hmm.
Autograph వద్దు, విల్ జస్ట్ క్లిక్ అ పిక్చర్. లేదు అక్క, నాకు ఆటోగ్రాఫ్ కావాలి. And then ever since, I don't even remember how many autographs I gave. And then that's really very gives me peace.
You boost also to do some other thing.
Yes, that's like my encouragement, like my motivation. Yes. Yeah.
Actually, every person will have one something like if you want to be happy, he has to do something.
Yes.
So no person is being identified what he will be happy means అసలు ఏం చేస్తే అతను హ్యాపీగా ఉంటాడు అనేది ఐడెంటిఫై. కొంతమంది ఏంటంటే పొద్దున్నే యోగా మెడిటేషన్ చేస్తేనే వాళ్ళకి డే అంతా హ్యాపీగా ఉంటుంది, చేయకపోతే చిరాకుగా ఉంటుంది. కొంతమందికి వాళ్ళు ఇష్టం వచ్చింది తింటేనే హ్యాపీగా ఉంటుంది, కొంతమందికి ఆ గొడవ పడితేనే హ్యాపీగా ఉంటుంది, తమ్ముడితోనో చెల్లితోనో పేరెంట్స్. కొంతమందికి ఫోన్ ఎక్కువసేపు గంటలు గంటలు ఫోన్లలో మాట్లాడుతుంటే వాళ్ళకి కావాల్సిన వాళ్ళతో హ్యాపీగా ఉంటుంది. కొంతమందికి ఇట్లా వాట్ యు సే యువర్ మౌంటైనీర్ వాట్ ఎవర్ యూ వాంట్ టు డూ యూ ఫీల్ హ్యాపీ. కొంతమందికి గేమ్స్, కొంతమంది వీడియో గేమ్స్. సో ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ వీ షుడ్ ఫైండ్ యాజ్ పర్ యూ సే మనం దేంట్లో హ్యాపీగా ఉంటాము అనేది ముందు ఐడెంటిఫై చేసుకోవాలి.
Yes sir, true. But then it's not necessarily, తొందరగా ఐడెంటిఫై అవ్వాలి. ఇట్స్ ఓకే. ఈ ఏజ్ ఇస్ లైక్ ఆ క్రాస్ రోడ్స్ లో కంపల్సరీ ఉంటాము. ఇట్ విల్ టేక్ టైమ్ టు నో వాట్ యు వాట్ యు వాంట్ టు డూ. నీకు ఆ కాలింగ్ రావడానికి టైం పడుతుంది. నాకు ఆ కాలింగ్ ఎప్పుడు అనిపించింది, లైక్ నాకు ఆ కంపెనీలో ప్లేస్మెంట్ వచ్చిన తర్వాత, యూ రిమెంబర్ సార్, ఐ గాట్ ప్లేస్ ఇన్ దట్ కంపెనీ అండ్ దెన్ కాల్ లెటర్ కూడా ఇచ్చారు. అండ్ దెన్ ఐ యాక్చువల్లీ బికాస్ ఆఫ్ ద ప్రెషర్, from outside pressure and all, much before doing my first trek, I went anamata. I went to the campus to get placed anamata, because they were like, what are you doing, engineering అయిపోయింది, why are you not working and all. I started hearing all that and then okay, ఒకసారి వెళ్ళి చూద్దాం whatever it is అని వెళ్ళాను. అక్కడికి వెళ్ళి there were other recruits also. This is completely campus placed పిల్లలు వచ్చారు. There were other recruits from other college also, so the process was taking a little longer time. So I was waiting patiently. Morning vellanu 11 o'clock ki. I was there till 8 o'clock, 8:30. And then appudu, when they were above to call me for my the last session, the last round, నాకు అప్పుడు అనిపించింది, వాట్ am I doing here? This is not where I'm supposed to be. నాకు అప్పుడు ఆ కాలింగ్ అనిపించింది, like how much longer I was waiting for that. The longer I was waiting there for my turn, it made me easier to realize that was not the place. నీకు ఆ పాయింట్ దొరుకుతుంది పక్క, ఇది నా కాలింగ్ కాదు అనేసి. you need to just find out what is. And then at the same time, sometimes you wouldn't know your abilities. Even I didn't know my abilities until I joined CMRTC. నాకు తెలీదు that I would express myself very good while writing. English ma'am వాళ్ళు చెప్పారు, Gladys ma'am చెప్పారు, Sunita ma'am చెప్పారు, like you write well. And then I never knew that నేను యాంకరింగ్ చేయగలుగుతాను అనేసి. వాళ్ళు నన్ను పుష్ చేశారు.
But you have done it, na?
I did it. Yes, I did it. That's what. That was a push. Like sometimes you need external push as well. Sometimes నీకు అది సెల్ఫ్ లో తెలిసిపోతుంది. Like that's.
But now Sunita madam and Meenakshi, Sunita madam was not there now.
Yeah.
Gladys madam is there.
Yes, Gladys ma'am was also very supportive while I was doing the third year లో యాంకరింగ్ చేసేప్పుడు మ్యామ్ మెంటరింగ్ తో నేను చేశాను. Meenakshi ma'am first year నుంచి I kept telling her, ma'am I want to do this, ma'am I want to do this, and then ఒకసారి కాలేజ్ కి వచ్చేప్పుడు నువ్వు అన్నావు అప్పుడు ఫస్ట్ ఇయర్ లో, I remember, and you did it, I'm very happy, I'm very proud of you అన్నారు మ్యామ్.
మీకు అప్పుడు కూడా థర్డ్ ఇయర్ లో AECLs ల్యాబ్ ఉంది కదా?
Yes sir, AECLs కి Sunita ma'am ఇంకా Gladys ma'am వచ్చారు.
Yeah, first year and third year, 2 times you are having, right?
Yes.
Yeah, white dress, I remember. Yeah, placement eligibility dress.
Yes, yeah.
So you placed in college already in Genpact company, but you did not join.
No, sir, I didn't join.
You went to your Mountaineer.
Yes, I did.
Okay, Srujana. Hope the remaining next peaks, 4 peaks also in the 7 continents, 3 you covered, and remaining 4 also you will cover. Afterwards, your target will be above 8,000 and above peaks.
Yes, sir.
You will achieve it. We will see in the news, and we will see in the social media. And again, I will congratulate you, and thank you for.
Thank you.
It's
sir.
4 o'clock.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for accepting our invitation.
All the time, sir.
Many your juniors immediately when I have approached you. Thank you for remembering me and remembering our college.
Sir, always, sir. College has always been a part of it, somewhere or the other. It's always been.
Yeah. Thank you. We'll be in touch.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My dear students and faculty who have attended this section. Thank you. Bye, Srujana.
Bye, sir.